Hey guys, so I just got back from seeing Charlie Lovett over at my local independent bookstore. It's called McIntyre's Books. It's in Farrington Village. And it was pretty awesome, so I took some clips to share with you guys. Here they are.
It was actually not my idea, although I thought it was a great idea. It was not my idea to title this book, subtitle this book, A Novel of Obsession. That was somebody at Penguin Books who came up with that idea. But as soon as they said that, I thought, oh yeah, that actually fits a lot of the characters in this book. And as I've read that opening passage over many times in the last month or so, and read people who got upset that Peter stole the watercolor, it occurs to me that we know, you find out pretty early on in the book that Peter has two really great passions in his life, Amanda and rare books. And it occurs to me that obsession is nothing more than passion without moral compass. We did not come by this cover lightly. They sent me the first version of the cover, this is many, many months ago, and they said, what do you think? Well, what I thought was, this is my 14th book, and now suddenly a professional person has designed the cover, and how cool is that? It's awesome, it looks like a real book. You know, what my agent thought was that it was absolutely unacceptable. I was like, I didn't get it, because I thought it looked so cool. And he said, no, it needs to be more Shadow of the Wind, it needs to be more literary, magical, and he kept throwing out these terms that I was completely unable in my own head to translate into some sort of design aspect. And this all culminated in about a 30-minute conference call with my agent and my editor, who is the president of Penguin Books, and her assistant, and me, talking about what the cover should look like. And my thoughts had to do with things like typeface and spacing and things like that. And they ended up coming up with an almost completely new cover, where they took into account a lot of my ideas, and a lot of my agent's ideas, and the designer's ideas. And I think it's a cover where, if you think this looks interesting, I think you'll like the book. Yeah. It's a very honest cover. It's the kind of cover that if you have an emotional reaction to this, you go, oh, that's intriguing, then I think you'll like the book. If a physical book can do certain things that a digitized book or an electronic book cannot do. So I want to talk about a few things that these physical objects that we call books can do that an electronic item that is really, really good at holding text, because that's basically what ebooks are very good at. They're very good at being containers for text. But this can do some things other than just be a container for text. So one of the things it can do is it can grab you when you walk into a bookstore with this cover. Oh, but there's something else that this book does as a physical object that is not going to happen if you buy the ebook. And I didn't even notice this until I had the book for several days, and then I thought, I think I'll take off the dust jacket and see what they did on the spine. Now, you're going to take very good care of your dust jacket, because you all know that it's an important part of your book. And your book will not be as valuable to your great-great-grandchildren if it doesn't have the dust jacket on it. But if you happen to take it off for just a minute, you'll see, and Lucy can change the slides, you'll see it on the screen, you'll see that they put my initials on the front cover in gold, which seems like a really sweet thing to do, but you don't know the half of it unless you've actually read the book. Because what's really cool about this is that there's a scene in the book where Peter binds a book for somebody, and he puts that person's initials in gold on the front cover of the book. Well, I thought this was really sweet that they noticed this, and I was having lunch with my editor about a month ago, and I said to her, I thought this was really sweet that they noticed this, and the whole time I was talking to her about this, she had this little twinkle in her eye, and she finally leans forward and she goes, I asked them to do that. To me, those are the kind of little discoveries that can create an interactivity between the physical object and the text that it contains. That is a level of interactivity that's going to be a little harder to have, I would say, on a digital copy. You know, I have to say, it's amazing to me that I can sit on my couch in my cottage in England, and I can say to myself, I'd like to read Sense and Sensibility this afternoon. And 5 minutes later, without moving my lazy self off of the sofa, I'm doing it. You know, that's great. And I love the fact that when I'm doing research, at least half the books that I need to look at, I can look at without getting up from my desk. I can just go onto Google Books and things have been scanned. And so, but to me, the line that sort of sums up the way that I personally feel about rare books, and I am a book collector, is when Francis Leland says, there's no point in having these things if we don't ever have the pleasure of looking at them. There are some collectors who want to lock things away in a glass case and never touch them. To me, what's great about collecting books is the opportunity to share them with other people and to hopefully give people that, a part of that experience that Peter has when he lays his hands on the bad quarto of Hamlet. In addition to being a love story between Peter and Amanda, it's kind of a love story between me and rare books. And a lot of people have said to me, your love of books really comes across on every page of this book.